Okay, when you study a type 2 projectile problem, you are going to be looking at the velocity at the maximum height. So this you want to be keeping in mind. You're going to be looking at the problem with the final velocity in the y direction here. So that is an automatic 0. Okay, so in the x-axis, this is 0, and the y-axis is 9.8 meters per second squared with a negative. Your velocity in the x-axis is going to be 20 meters per second with a cosine of the angle, which is 60 degrees. And if you do that out in your calculator, it's 10 meters per second. And the other one, you're going to do the same idea. It's cosine 60, which again is 10 meters per second. So the initial and the final in the x-axis are the same. Now we have to find the initial in the y direction. It's going to be 20 sine 60, and you plug that into your calculator, you would get 17.3 meters per second. Let's see if I can go into moving forward, trying to find time. You always try to find time. I do not have a d value, so I have to get rid of equations that have d. Since I don't have d, cross that one out. I don't have d, so I cross that one out. So here's how I'm going to find my time. I'm going to find my time using this way. If you have v final in the y is equal to v initial in the y plus at. Subtract v initial y from both sides. And now I would have v final y minus v initial y is equal to at, because these would cancel kind of out. All right, now divide by a from both sides. Alright, so now I'm going to have to work up here, so to be kind of creative. Time is now going to be equal to my v final, which is the 0 at the max, or apex, minus 17.3 meters per second, divided by 9.8 meters per second squared. Alright, so my final unit would be seconds. Let's do blue. My final unit would be seconds. And what did I come up with? I can't read my handwriting. 1.76 seconds. How did I figure that out? Well, if I wanted to do unit conversions, just checking for units. I have my units. So I know my units were meters per second divided by a meter per second squared. If I cherub bang it, I have meter per second divided by cherub bang. Flip the fraction. Second squared divided by meters. Meters cancels out. 1 second cancels out with that second. Final answer, seconds. Okay, now I can fill in my chart. My chart says my time is equal to, and I'm going to round to the tenths place, so I'll do 1.8 seconds. Okay, now I've got to figure out how my time is in the relationship to the x-axis. So hopefully I erased all this. Just follow along. So the time is very specific in these type 1 problems. It takes 1.8 seconds to go to the top, and then another 1.8 seconds to get to the bottom. So my spitball, disgusting as it may be, goes choo. Alright. So the total time, I'll put it right here, is going to be doubled. So if I wanted to add those two up, I actually did 1.76 and multiplied it by 2. Pause. Alright, continuing. I would get doubling the time 3.6 seconds because I'm going up at this time and down at that time. So doubling the time. Now to find my dx distance, my total range, I'm just going to plug into this equation. dx is equal to v initial t plus 1/2 ax t squared. So that's a little x. This is 0 because no effect from gravity in the horizontal position. Remove the recording over here. Okay. Now that's a pretty straightforward problem. So now you can go dx is equal to 10 meters per second times my time of 3.6 meters per second. My final answer is 36 meters. Bam. Put over here, 36 meters. I am almost done. Now I gotta find my dy. The dy gets a little tricky. You gotta be very clear what's going on. You're finding dy as the maximum height. Okay, just gonna squeeze this in and let's try red. So now I'm trying to find dy. Stick with green. So my dy. Alright, so here's my dy equation. My dy is equal to v initial y t plus 1/2 a t squared. And you got to be careful now because you're going to use the time in the y spot. You're using this time. So, moving forward, you're going to have dy is equal to 17.3 meters per second times 1.8 seconds plus 1/2 negative 9.8 meters per second squared times 1.8. Sorry, I gotta put seconds and I gotta square it. Don't forget your squared. It's important. I'm gonna try